recording. Admit. There he is. There he is.
Hey.
Hey, Kyle. Nice
Hey,
to meet
Katie.
you.
Nice to meet you too.
He never smiles for me. What?
Are you in what is it Calgary or
Oh, I'm in Edmonton, so just north of Calgary.
okay.
All right.
And are you in Denver or in Colorado somewhere?
Yeah, Denver. Yep.
Cool.
All right, guys. So basically, we're already kind of rolling. The Patreon people are going to see this because I have to hit record right away. We're zooming. Now, because there's three of us, this is exciting that there's three hosts. I'm actually really excited for this. But because of that Zoom, it's still the best software, but it costs like $25 or $30 a month for the non-free Zoom. So what will happen is every 40 minutes, we're going to have to pause. I'll pause the recording, so it won't. Our listeners will be none the wiser, but for us hosts, we're going to have to just do the re-invite process again, rejoin, and just pick up where we left off. It's a kind of pain in the butt. Unless, Kyle, you're willing to shell out the fee a month for Zoom?
No.
Okay,
But
so...
I've done a lot of this stuff. Like during the pandemic when it was really bad, we actually did karate over Zoom, and it was an hour and a half. So we had to stop and start, and it only takes a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, so even the instructor didn't have a paid
Well,
account?
he eventually got one.
Okay.
For free because he was a nonprofit. So if you want to register as a nonprofit, then you might be able to do something like that.
I wonder, can you do that as a podcast? Oh, I'll look into it. Sure, why not? Couldn't hurt.
Educational counts as nonprofit, I think.
I wonder if we could do that.
You probably have to have like a 501, like some sort of filing, like something. I don't know what it is.
I mean, I can't just lie to them.
Like you have maybe some sort of document to prove that you're like registered as a nonprofit somewhere. I don't know.
Oh man, well, I'm excited for this. Well, I want to say first off, Katie did a great job. We're gonna read some of the comments on air here of how you did. Yeah. Well, I had to delete the ones where they said females are the worst. They don't know what they're talking about. Why would you ever have a female on your podcast? So those ones are.
No.
So I'll spare you those ones.
Also,
people were saying that, but then on the flip side, people were saying, Ryan, Katie and Kyle, they're much better podcasters. They know much more about the films than I do. So I'm really conflicted. Whose advice to follow here. So. With that, we'll cue the music. All right. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna go into a couple of comments here on Patreon. So this is kind of cool. How this is cool is the people on Patreon. They've already seen the live recording. They've already heard the early audio edit, and the time of this recording, the general masses, the little peons who just usurp our free feed. I'm just joking. They're here. Kyle always gets so worried about that. They're hearing responses from that. That's what I'm getting at. So when you're on Patreon and stuff, you can kind of get the early. You get the immediate next recording readings, if that makes sense. That's the real time recordings. If you want to get into that, most people don't care, but the Patreon people they enjoy that. So here's some comments. You ready, Katie?
Yeah.
I did have them queued up. I'm somewhat of a professional because I wanted to save time, but bear with me. Oh, editing's great after this is over.
Well, you can read the ones where they say how terrible females are too. That was me.
Unfortunately, that was just a joke. There was no.
Oh.
I'll send one in under a pseudonym just to stir the pot a little.
No, there was no.
How do you say your last name?
Oh, sorry. Say that again, Kyle. I cut on you.
Katie, how do you pronounce your surname?
Geilenkirchen.
Geilenkirchen. Okay, cool. I was trying to figure it out.
Yeah, I asked her the same question, and I forgot how to. I was like, I'm not gonna bring it up again because she already told me. Thank you, Kyle. It actually looks just like it looks, Geilenkirchen.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. So this is from Melissa Nolman. She's one of our patrons. She's very active on our board on Facebook, and she's active on the Patreon feed. She said, "Great episode." So she's referring to episode 5. Katie's first episode. Great episode, and welcome to Katie. You did a great job, she said. It's refreshing to hear a female's take. And this is great coming from a female listener. She's one of our 2, so this is good. So 50% of our female listeners have responded to your...
Good odds.
She goes on to say, my friend and family think I'm crazy, like Melissa's saying this, that I'm crazy weird because I love Stallone and Rocky so much. So it's nice to hear that I'm not the only one out there, female, I guess she's referring to. And I agree, Rocky is so cute in those glasses.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Yeah.
Cameron, one of our top Patreons, he said, same episode, they're talking about the live video one here. He goes, Cameron says, just finished watching the feed. Welcome, Katie. Really enjoyed hearing your perspective. Strong debut, I must say. Please, and then he goes on to say he's pleased you accepted Ryan's proposal at the end. Look forward to future installments. Kyle, I proposed to her. It was a stupid bit, but it was on the fly bit. She did great for her first. What do you call improv?
Hey, wait
bit.
a minute! Didn't she propose to me earlier? Also,
hey, don't worry about that. This is an open relationship, okay?
He took me to the zoo. Did he take you to the zoo?
Also, is it the same? You didn't use the same fucking bit, did you?
Okay, well, yeah. Let's move on. Okay, so. All right, so now this is kind of interesting. So some of the people on our Patreon, they like the live feed stuff like we're doing now. And some people not only like that, but they also listen to the audio edit that I do to compare, which is weird. And Cameron is one of those nuts. So Cameron goes on to say, just finished listening to the edit. Great job. Does tighten it up, and I must say, was expecting to remember chunks from the video to the cut, but didn't really notice much. But still, you took out 20 minutes worth of audio. So that's the beauty of the edit, is like you'll watch. That's sometimes why I wonder why I edit and take all that time, because actually this is kind of an example where Cameron's like, hey, it was a good edit, but I don't even know where you took stuff out. I don't know. It's half dozen, or what's the saying? 6 of one, half dozen of the other.
Yeah.
I'm torn
20
because
minutes. Yeah,
20
I mean,
minutes.
you do a good job, but yeah, I wouldn't have thought it was 20 minutes either.
I'm always surprised at the end of my edit. Like,
Yeah.
whoa, I'll be like, I took out 20 minutes of, well, it's ahs.
Mm-hmm.
I will say I have the tendency, I find this when I listen to myself, and I know all of your tics too, by the way. Kyle, I know his tics. Like, because I hear them again. Oh, trust me, you have them. I don't actually don't want to say it, because then you'll be self-conscious when you talk. I just want you to talk naturally.
Mm-hmm.
I actually won't even say what they are, but everyone has them. And one of mine is I actually repeat things. I'll say, I don't know, there's a term for it, but I'll say the apple in the cart was red. The cart had a red apple. I'll do that sometimes. I just said that, but I will say it again, and then so I'll
I think
cut
that's a chiasm, Ryan.
Is that what that's called?
Chiasmus.
Oof, I don't know. It sounds smart.
I do that also, and I notice it about myself. So now I'm gonna notice it even more.
And Katie, for your audio edit, what I did is I changed the timbre on your voice to make you sound higher.
Oh.
That was a joke before the recording started, just so people know. She brought up that she feels her voice is too low. Anyways, jeez. Like, Kyle's like, boy, Ryan, you're just brutal. Okay. Cameron goes on to say, one of the emails from the previous episode talked about and this is for all of us to discuss here. One of the emails from the previous episode talked about alternate realities and if a match went the other way. And this is kind of a funny one, but it'd be an interesting one to discuss. He says, how about if Paulie beat Rocky in the parking garage? I never even thought about that fight.
That would be huge, because, like, well, Rocky probably would have forgiven him, but if he didn't, then Paulie wouldn't have lived with him, and then the tax extension letter wouldn't have happened, and Rocky might not have lost all his money. So it's the movement of the butterfly wings can cause a hurricane type of thing. Have you ever heard that before?
Oh yeah. Katie?
He didn't even land a single I can't even allow my brain to go there because it's so far-fetched. Yeah, I don't know.
It's just funny. I think he was just trying to be funny. It is funny though.
Right.
I didn't even think Paulie just lands one clean shot on Rocky. He just floors him.
Now we have a cigar smoking, wife beater wearing, beer gut belly fighter in the ring. Yeah.
All Paulie wanted was to have a date with Adrian. Okay, so that's a weird relationship, man. All right, and then lastly, he said, he goes, and further. Oh, so he goes, and oh yeah. So he says that if Paulie beat up Rocky, would the watch still be busted? It cracks me up when you guys say that. Busted. Yeah. All right. So those are our Patreon comments. We've also had a few on the Facebook wall. I won't repeat them, but yeah, Katie, you came in good. It's all good.
All right. Well, I've kept my job for one more week.
One more week, at least. We did get one email from Hector, our favorite wrestler. He says, Ryan and Kyle, this, of course, you'll be in the email soon, Katie. The way it works, as you know, we do these recordings kind of a bit ahead of time. So,
yeah.
Again, if you're not a Patreon, your emails will seem like it takes forever because it's kind of true because the way we record. Anyways, he goes, Ryan and Kyle, thank you very much. What both of you say, okay, so he's referring to, and I'll just say it again, that we rightfully said great things about Hector. Just being a great guy and a great father and husband and a great hard worker. And he goes, thank you very much, guys. What both of you said truly uplifted me and also humbled me, as I know myself and know I don't measure up to how you described me. Well, anyone that says that is usually, it's good. I understand that. I'm the same way. I hate it when people compliment me because you always want to go, no. And so he's a humble guy. That's what humble guys do. But thank you, he says. And he goes, Kyle, I would be honored to go to one of your martial art exhibitions when you come down here to Los Angeles.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I'd be afraid for him to watch that because he'd be embarrassed, but yeah, hopefully we could go to Tijuana after.
Okay, well, he's talking about that next.
Okay.
He says, he goes in capital letters, but I will not go to Tijuana.
No, what?
No. Yeah, he says here.
Okay, well.
He says, I don't know if you've seen this little film called Rambo Last Blood, but things don't turn out so good. You think you're going to have a good time, reconnect with old friends and relatives, maybe have a few drinks, dance a little, and then wham, you wake up in a little room, don't know where you're at, you're sore in places you shouldn't be. It's just not as it's just not as fun as it sounds. But then he goes on to say, jokes aside, even guys get drugged. A decade ago, I was talking it up with a girl. We planned on having some fun later, and as she went to the ladies' room, a gay friend came over to me and told me he had overheard the girl I was talking to. She and another man were planning to slip something into my drink and switch places once we were at the hotel room. It's a bit of a longer story, he says, but I've escaped by the skin of my teeth way too many times there. Anyways, thanks again, guys. I hope you guys stay safe. Can't wait for the next episode. He goes, I'm trying to watch along with you guys. I'm enjoying the Patreon feed and seeing the unedited episode and keep punching. Okay, so Hector's one of the crazy guys too. Okay. Well, there you go. It's a nice email from Hector. Thanks, brother.
So in other words, if I go to Tijuana, the chance of me getting roofied is not zero.
Yeah.
Okay.
It might be the only chance I get lucky in Tijuana. Who knows? All right. So last thing, if you want to join our Patreon for as little as $1 a month, you get all the live feeds, you get early releases, you get to see the movie as we talk to the movie, and yeah. And you also help pay for the feed to get the show out there. And we did get one new Patreon, and that was Paul Scheibner. So, Paul, thank you so much for being a Patreon. We do thank you. It's very kind of you. That's it. That's it for, what do you call it, housekeeping, guys. That was pretty quick.
I have an item, actually.
Ooh, please.
Something arrived. A guest arrived. I have now in my possession a replica of the Rocky statue.
Nice.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I don't know how well you can see it, but
bring it to the camera a little bit closer if you can. There you go. That is amazing. You did mention this in a Facebook message to me that you knew about this because of the interview with Robin.
I did not know they existed, and actually her Ms. Schomburg. So it came in like 2 days or something because she lives like an hour from me.
Oh.
So
she was such a nice person. She's so nice. She was so nice with her time and her stories about the statue. It's funny, before we actually interviewed her, this was the early days of our podcast, I remember thinking with Ruben, I was like, I don't think she's going to really have much to say. I mean, she's the daughter of her dad who does the statue. She runs it, but she was very giving of her stories, and she had a lot of great stories. And I think my favorite story from her was just when she talked about being a 14-year-old girl and Stallone going to the house to model.
I can't even imagine. Even now. I mean, I can't see. I I'm fumbling over my words now. I can't even get the words out how excited I would be in that situation if I
Can
were.
you imagine? What I even said to her, how did you like it? She wouldn't really comment, but she was kind of like, she didn't mind. She didn't want to elaborate, but she didn't mind.
Well, and that was in the early to mid '80s when he was like near perfection. You know,
2% body fat or whatever. Yeah, it was ridiculous. Yeah, but I'll never forget. She was 14. Can you imagine being 14 and having Sly in '83 come to your house to pose for your dad? And he stood there, just like you said. He stood there for hours. He would stand there for the sculpting. It's kind of cool. Okay, yeah. So for our Patreon, you're gonna have to pay up to see the statue. It's really cool. But we're talking about those mini statues that you can get. Was it 15 inches or something like that?
12 inches.
12 inches.
Yeah.
All right, no jokes, Kyle. Okay, so
I really wanted to. I'm like, I'm not gonna do
it. You literally can't say anything like 12 inches or under with guys without some sort of joke. It's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, there are 20-inch ones available, or there used to be.
Statues we're talking about? Wow, Katie.
Well, sometimes more isn't better.
Yeah, that's what I keep telling my wife. That's what. Yeah. All right, this is the stuff that gets edited out for my mom. Okay, because she doesn't do the live Patreon stuff. Okay, all right, let's get into it. The movie. So we're at the scene now, Kyle. Kyle, you missed. If there was a week that you got to miss, you missed a good one because.
Yeah.
The date. Is there anything you want to talk about before, Kyle? Anything you want to mention about the date that they had, their first date? We're talking about Adonis and, of course, Bianca. First date.
Oh, your favorite person, Bianca. Shoot, I'm so sad I missed that. I'm still working on that deck, by the way. It's still not done.
So, jeez, I'm sorry. I feel for you, man.
So one problem after the other.
Oof.
But I don't know. They had their date.
Do you remember the part in the movie where she talked about Johns?
Yeah, is that real? Is that actually a thing?
According to the internet, it's a Philadelphia slang term.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I remember.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm trying to think back to that scene. I recall that's when she talks about her hearing issues and how she'll eventually not be able to hear. And then there was the sign language for bullshit.
Right. Oh, you remember it better than I did without the rewatch. Yeah. That's about it. And there was a little bit of similarity. Of course, this is the similarity between Rocky and Adrian's kind of first date because they talk about their past, meaning like, well, it's just common for a date, of course. But the idea is Rocky and Adrian remember in their very beautiful first date talking about why do you fight, and he had to use his body because he didn't have much of a brain, and she had to use her brain because she didn't have much of a body. And that kind of happened with this because she actually asked him, like, ironically, it was kind of flipped because she goes, why are you a fighter? Because you don't look tough, you don't look street tough. So she kind of flipped it on him, saying, I can understand why you'd fight because you have a body, but she kind of ragged on Adonis a little bit for not having what she considered the toughness of a look to him to be a fighter.
Well, that's a common criticism of him. Everyone says, like, look, you're not in this life. You don't need to do this. What are you doing? Mm-hmm. Like, he doesn't speak like a fighter. He doesn't have, I guess, that countenance or whatever that a fighter would have. And so, I wonder if that affects him at all, where it's like everyone thinks he's a pretender or, he's not the real thing. And I guess in that he left out a very important part about his past, and that he's Apollo Creed's son, right? Like, I think he says there that his father was a fighter, but like there's that lie of omission that his dad was like the fighter.
You were gonna say something there, Katie?
No, Kyle's right. I mean, he alludes to it, and I sort of thought that she was starting to like think about it or pick up on it, and then in the scene that we'll watch, I think the wheels continue to spin. But with that, like, actually, maybe he hasn't said it yet, but Adonis does say something about like the thing that he's trying to overcome is he doesn't want people to perceive him as being a fake Creed. Is the like term he uses, and then so anyway, we'll see a little bit of that later in the movie.
Okay, awesome, good stuff. Okay, so now we're gonna move into the next scene, and this is an interesting shot here for our non-viewers. It's of course Rocky with that big broad shoulder saunter walk. He's going to the graveyard, the grave site of Adrian. We've talked about this before. I'll ask you, Katie, because Kyle and I have talked about this. But I, I'm not trying to get what's the word I'm looking for, somber or morbid here. Um, how often, and maybe you do, I don't know, but we all grieve in different ways. But how often would you visit a grave of a loved one? Think of whoever the closest person is in your life, and that person's gravesite was only a mile away. How often would you go? Would you go Rocky often or Polly
No,
often?
I would go poly often.
Why?
Well, I guess, and I don't know. I mean, maybe even like the cemetery itself, like that's not the person. Like they are not there. If you want to talk to the person, you can have a conversation with them at any point.
Good point.
You don't have to go to a cemetery. But that's just like my
No,
my
that's
thoughts
a good point.
on, yeah, like. But I mean, if we're to believe that these guys are like religious or Catholic in any way, then the cemetery apparently is a big deal, and so he seems to go several times a week, if not every day.
Yeah, do we know? Is it daily ish?
I think they said something along the lines of every day.
Mm-hmm.
Oof.
I know for me, I have one relative that I really miss, that I visit their gravesite, I guess, regularly. And I probably do it once a year.
That's fair. The death anniversary or something like that, or close to it.
Yeah, something like that. It's close to winter time, so it's like sometimes I'll go earlier just so I can find it.
Sure. Yeah. Hey man, that's not your grave. Sorry.
I think for Rocky though, every day is weird, but that might be his time because it's a very serene, almost kind of place. Like no one else is there. You hear birds. Like it's away from probably the hectic and craziness of the restaurant and everything else that's going on. And I'm sure whenever he goes out on the street, people approach him all the time. And so this is
And
maybe his time to like meditate or kind of just have some time to himself and to think about Adrian. And yeah, I don't know. It still is kind of strange. So like he obviously doesn't want to move on. Like he wants to. I feel like he's forcing himself not to move on, which is fine. But
this is his habit now. Like it's just his part of his daily ritual, or his however often his ritual. He has the chair there. He has the paper. It's like this is what else is he going to do? I mean, this is his life now.
I just thought of something funny. Sorry, you mentioned the chair. I got a scene for Creed Part 3. So Rocky's going to the gravesite, right? And then the chair's not there. It's missing. He's looking all around. He's angry. He's like, where's the chair? Where's the chair? And he's like, I've got the chair, meatball. And there's Federlips comes behind him. I don't sweat you, meatball. And he hits him with the chair.
break you in half like this.
Oh my God. Only Polly says, "I don't sweat you."
I know, but that's
I'll
what
allow it, yeah.
that's the double hit because he's not only is he hitting Rocky's with Adrian's death chair, but he's also quoting the dead Polly line.
What if he hit Polly's gravestone with that chair? It's like revenge or something like that.
And then he looks at the headstone and goes, "Sorry, Rocky, it's busted."
God, you guys.
They should have like a
we're
drinking game whenever Ryan says it's busted.
busted.
You take a shot.
Oh, well, I have some wine here, so I'll take a drink.
Oh man,
have
good. Oh, I'm the idiot apparently. Okay, I got water.
I think it's bad luck to toast or whatnot with water.
I didn't toast. I just mentioned I had water.
True.
I just mentioned. Yeah, this show doesn't need any more bad luck.
I want to point out something too about the graveyard scene quick. It's just also I think the time of year kind of makes it seem more gloomy too, because like you don't have the leaves on the trees, but you also don't have like the white snow, which can make something look peaceful. So it's like it's that weird time where like the grass is dead, and I guess it's like I'm guessing it's springtime since you don't see leaves. Like it's like early spring, like winter. The snow's melted, but it hasn't greened up yet. So it's like that nasty, crappy time. So it makes the graveyard a little more depressing too. So it's a good choice of time to film that, I think.
Oh, awesome. Good thoughts. And now I do like the scene here, the way he saunters and walks. And speaking of Last Blood, for those who've seen it, there's a scene in Last Blood where he walks through the door of his house and the same kind of saunter. It's the same shot almost of him kind of like big man sauntering through the door. I don't know why it reminded me of that when I saw that, but for those who are seeing this scene right now, they'll know what I'm talking about. You hear that soundtrack there of the Adrian theme?
Okay. Here we go, Paulie. Happy birthday, my friend. I didn't forget you. Your favorite. Miss you, pal. Go, Adrian, my darling. That's the best.
Okay, so he said happy birthday to Paulie. Now we can actually get a date. Do you remember what his date was for his birthday?
I couldn't see it.
It's 1940 is the year, I'm pretty sure.
You guys keep talking while I look up his date.
I kind of noticed a detail to it. I might have to look at it again to make sure.
I'd have to zoom in. I couldn't see what it said. But it was the first time we were hearing the Rocky music, yeah.
Oh, sorry, I'm looking up his birthday. Because then we get exactly what day it is. Oh, so it's if it's actually his birthday, he was born November 19th.
November.
Okay.
Well, spring or fall. Yeah, either way, Kyle. Yeah.
Just before snowfall. Yeah. East Coast.
Yeah.
There's no snow yet, but it's a crisp morning. Things are dead and dry and looks cool. Yeah, that's actually... You described the season perfectly, and they hit the nail on the head for that. So for those nerds like us... I had to look it up. I didn't know it was his exact birthday.
I find something a little odd about the gravestones.
Okay.
So, and maybe I'm wrong too, but because I didn't see it that well. So you have Adrian's there, which has been there for a while. It has some like moss on it, and then Paulie's is directly beside it. And like normally, if like your spouse dies, you'll often want to be like beside them.
Yeah. Paulie got his wish.
But now Paulie's beside her. I guess there's some room there on the right where you can squeeze in. But I'm like, oh.
Yeah, Paulie will be cucking for eternity.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
What was his whiskey brand? What is that?
Wild Turkey, is it?
I thought it was like something rose. It says like the 3 flowers on it.
Oh, I thought yeah, okay.
Which I don't recognize that brand. If that's even a thing.
Yeah, we saw it in what scene? We see it in what's it called? We see it in Rocky 1 when he's sitting at the couch or something. He's holding that. Isn't that when we see it?
Yeah, well, he right before Rocky goes into the meat house, before he gets interviewed, hitting the meat.
Yes.
He like grabs Paulie by the cuff of his shirt, and then
4 roses.
Need exposure.
4 roses. 4 roses.
Oh.
Rocky walks back in, and then Paulie takes a drink out of his flask, which is in a bag, before he follows Rocky in. And then there's the hitting the meat scene.
That's right. So the 4 roses.
That goes on TV.
I wonder if it must be a real drink.
Yeah.
I'm gonna Google that.
Okay. Yeah, so there you go. So they are next to each other, Paulie and Adrian. And the tombstone, I know you guys can't see it. Oh, we got the 40-minute coming up here in 10 minutes. Okay. Yeah, I know you guys can't see it maybe, but it says November 19th. So they got the detail on the gravestone. Yep.
Yeah. And I don't know what the year is, or did you guys already talk about the year he was supposed to have died? It says February 22nd, but Rocky's leg is over the year in this scene.
Yeah, I'm just looking that up too. I was just there too.
Okay, so 4 Roses is real.
I've never had it.
Yeah, same. I kind of want to try it now, though.
I know. I'm going to totally try it now. It's probably terrible. It's probably like the worst.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's got some awards, although that doesn't mean anything.
Right.
But yeah, it's Kentucky bourbon.
Ooh, I like bourbon. Okay.
So, and it was introduced in 1888.
Oh wow.
But there's lots of different kinds too. But yeah, I'm gonna see if they sell it in Canada. They probably don't.
2012, he might have passed away
Okay.
in the movie
So just
world.
a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Before, or a couple years before this.
And we said it was pancreatic cancer, didn't we, Kyle?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
How did you learn that? Where did that come up?
He was because he's a hardcore alcoholic. I don't know. I think we just assumed.
Well, wouldn't that
like
be
liver
liver?
cancer?
That would
Oh,
have been
sorry.
liver
Oh,
or
yeah, that's right.
kidney or liver or something. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fascinating for our poor patrons. I apologize, guys.
I
We got
know.
we got a little sidetracked with the details, but our this is what the audio one will fix. So we'll get all the little details out. And but anyways, yeah. But this is why people come for the show. These nice little details. Okay, so he's gonna sit down. He's gonna have a conversation with Adrian. So he calls her darling, which was sweet. Let's listen to that. Oops, gotta unmute it.
Oh, Adrian, my darling. Best of the best.
Best of the best, he said there.
I'll tell you, Adrian, God. It's getting harder to walk up this hill. What does that mean? Anyway, it's a good day today. It's a good day. Got no problems. Bills are paid. The only thing is that it's tough to sleep at night. Sometimes my back, no matter what you do, it catches up to you. Anyway, shall we see what's new in the world today?
So that piano playing is "You Take My Breath Away." That's the theme song. You take my breath away. You know that song? They actually did lyrics for this song. There's some lyrics to to that song on the Rocky original soundtrack. But it's called I believe that's the title. We've had this discussion before, and I think I butchered the title. You take my heart away. Is that what is that what it is or you?
I don't know.
I don't know. I didn't know the name ever.
Well,
Okay.
for the audio edit, I'm going to insert what I'm talking about because it's driving me crazy because I always get the title wrong. Okay. But it's really cute there. He's talking about he's having a hard time sleeping because of his back and time catches up to you. But we get a little hint here, and I didn't catch it till this conversation right now. He said it's getting harder to walk up that hill. We know that he's older, but this guy is not your average 70-year-old, okay? But he did say he's getting harder to walk up that hill, but he goes, I wonder what that means. I think his body's breaking down with cancer right now.
Oh.
Yeah,
I
there's
didn't
very
catch
subtle,
that. Yeah.
very subtle foreshadowing.
Yeah,
I
you're
think
right.
I think it is a subtle foreshadowing because he's having because he mentions it's getting hard to walk up that hill, and we're all thinking because you're older, but he looks quizzical about it. He goes, I don't know, what does that mean? Like why? Because he understands aging. It's not like he's an idiot about aging because he just said there like my back's hurting. These things catch up to you, but he mentioned that he's fatigued walking that short distance up the hill.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I did not catch that.
Okay,
Good
with
catch.
that, we'll do a re-invite. Ready? So go to your Facebook and I'll send a re-invite.
Okay.
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 All right. And hit record again. So that was pretty painless.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep going. Oh, I gotta share this. I gotta share it again. My bad. Sorry. Resume share. Will that work? That
I
work?
can see it.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it's fine.
Easy. Now I think that worked. Yeah, remaining meeting time 3. It still says 3 minutes. Okay, that didn't work. Sorry, guys. It's still counting that meeting.
We're gonna smoke it to the filter then.
Well, we got 2 minutes. I'll just stand by for a new re-invite.
Okay.
I want to hear that. Just 1 second.
Okay.
Where are we? Okay. So you were saying that you've been watching This Is Us. Please tell.
Well, now that I've totally interrupted the scene that we were on, so Kyle Ryan mentioned we were talking about I don't know if it's Milo or Milo Ventimiglia.
Milo. It's Milo Ventimiglia.
Milo Ventimiglia.
Yeah.
That he's the perfect like Rocky Jr.
Oh yeah, I think Ryan and I were saying that earlier.
And Ryan had asked if I found him attractive, and of course he's like, yes, of course.
Yeah.
And then he had recommended that I watch This Is Us, the TV show, because he's one of the stars in it. And so I have been watching it. I think I'm on like episode 4, and it is really, really good. Like really well developed characters. So
It's very good. That's our recommendation. This Is Us is one of our sponsors, so that's a great segue into our first ad.
I know it. Well, and I don't think even in Rocky Balboa, I didn't notice, because you guys had talked about the casting was so good, because his Milo's mouth is just naturally like Sly's, but you really see it in the show This Is Us. Anyway,
yeah, no,
off my tangent.
No, not at all. In fact, I knew him first from the show Heroes, and then I think it was around then. It was, if not, it was like the same time Rocky 6 came out and Heroes was out around that same time. And
well, you didn't know him from Gilmore Girls, Ryan?
Actually, I didn't. I know you did.
What? You don't watch Gilmore Girls?
Now you have to watch Gilmore Girls, Katie.
No, just I've never seen it, but I don't know if I'll ever watch it, unfortunately.
What kind of woman are you? We got to get a new female perspective on this show.
I know it. I've also never seen The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, any of the Housewives. Like I'm the worst woman ever, apparently.
Yeah. Well, if we were to get a female co-host for our show, it'd have to be the worst woman ever. So.
That was one of the boxes Ryan had to check off.
That's right.
Woman ever. Check.
Yeah.
Who is the worst female listener that we have? And it can't be my mom, because she's the best. Okay. But that being said, what I was going to say, he did mention, Milo Ventimiglia mentioned that during the casting, one of the reasons he got the job was because his lip went down. It's a natural lip thing that he has.
Yeah.
I wonder if also the forceps were used when he was born and it damaged the nerves in his face, like Sly.
That's right. His mother knew his son was going to be an actor, so for method acting, she had a drunk doctor deliver him.
She requested it.
She's like, you got to do what you got to do to get to the top. It's competitive.
Oh man! And now Milo Ventimiglia's mother is a soothsayer too. Okay, here we go. It's a little Mama Stallone joke for those who know. She's like a psychic or whatever.
Jackie?
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah. I can't. Well, just Google it. I can't believe she's still alive. It's insane.
Oh God! So she's probably like 95.
She's close to 100. She's nearing 100. I think Stallone will get to 100 before she does. I don't even know how that's going to work, but but no, because she's been 100 forever. I feel like she's been
Betty White.
That's right. She's been like, you know, it's one of those people that she's always been old.
Yeah.
Like, she's just always been old. But good for her. She's still around. Bless her heart. And boy, that's crazy that she's got to see her son have this.
Yeah.
Her son's 74. That blows my mind. Think about that. Her son is 74. Anyways, okay. So he's reading. So we left the scene here where Rocky's reading the paper. It's adorable. He's not on his phone. He's reading the news from the paper to Adrian. But he doesn't really quite read. We know this is what he's done, but he opens the paper, he looks at it, and now he's getting lost in his thoughts. Any guesses what he's thinking about right now?
I think it's pretty obvious that he's like, what am I doing? I have nothing going on in my life. I come here every day, talk to 2 dead people, and I have the chance to like be involved in someone who's living a life and creating these new connections. And like, why am I not jumping at that? That's I think it's obvious, but I could be wrong. I could be off.
You know what?
Just you'll never know.
Just before you get to that, Kyle, Kay, just so you know, every time you said, I don't know, all right, I don't know, that's just my opinion. Guess what I did? I deleted that. Just so you know, for the actual, because as a podcaster, we don't know anything. That's obvious. What do we know? The whole job of us is just to shoot the shite.
Yeah.
So I'm just letting you know that it's just funny because when you said it, my editing brain went, oh, there you go. I got to edit that one out. Mm-hmm. So you don't have to say, you don't have to this is just podcasting 101.
Okay.
You don't have. Okay. It's your opinion. Screw the listener. Just say what you want to say. If they don't like it, they can do their own podcast and we'll. All right. Yeah. All right.
I like it.
Okay. Kyle, you're going to say something. I interrupted you.
Well, it's of course unfalsifiable because he's not real. It isn't. isn't actually. He could be probably thinking, oh, but
He's like, oh, I brought the wrong paper. That's last week's paper.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? As an aside, the actor in Modern Family who played Al Bundy,
Ed O'Neill.
His name?
Yeah,
Ed O'Neill.
love him.
He reads the same paper when in any of his shows, like whether it's Married with Children or Modern Family. It's like the exact same newspaper every single time.
I forgot.
Do you mean
about
the
that.
issue? Do you mean it's the same
Literally
volume
the same
issue?
piece of? It's the same physical item. It's like 30-something years old. He still reads it.
Oh, buddy. I didn't know that. That's good.
Trivia.
That's right. He says here it's Ed O'Neill has been reading the same newspaper for 20 years. Yeah, on the TV show there. That's awesome.
So, in terms of what he's thinking about, my guess is he was just talking about how it's hard to go up the hill and all his back hurting and all that stuff. And so I'm wondering if he's thinking about, like, where do things go from here? Like, what is it going to be like if I, like, as an really old man? Like, what does my future look like? Like, alone. Where I'm like the only one here. Polly's gone now. Adrian's gone now. I'm starting to fail. Like, where does this all end?
Yeah, that's very true.
That's my anxiety talking. That's what I'd be thinking about if
I know. I'm already thinking that. What's the purpose of this life? Oh man. We're leaving behind our legacy of our podcast. It's out there in the ethos forever, as long as somebody pays for the feed.
Do you have different thoughts, Ryan?
Yeah. Well, I was just gonna say that. I know we're going ahead in the movies. We're kind of cheating because we know where the storyline goes, but he should also be thinking, why am I talking to two dead people when I have a son?
I don't think he thinks about his son. He's like, oh yeah, I have a son. Yeah, that's right.
Now, everyone's family dynamics are different, and we know that he's got a troubled past. We also know that he didn't have a father figure that we can understand, or at least his father figure was absent enough from the Rocky universe screen time. The only time we saw the father was when he said, yeah, those are Rocky's parents, when, on the mirror he was telling Adrian, like, those are my parents, those are my folks. So we know that he was, born, but we don't know did we ever find out what happens to his parents? I can't recall.
No, we don't know. We knew his dad went to jail.
Oh, that's what it was. Deleted scene. The deleted scene. That's right. His dad
I don't like that.
I'm sorry. That's canon.
I would rather just not know. I really dislike this now.
Oh yeah, that's right. So, what were your thoughts on that when you're saying it now? But did you ever know about that deleted scene?
No, I didn't. Because there was like a term for it. I can't remember what it was, but he went to prison. And
the arches.
Yeah. I guess it makes sense. It's just, I kind of wish they wouldn't have talked about it at all, because he was using it. I think it was the scene he was trying to connect with steps, but this whole time it's just been like a question mark that, like, nobody has parents in this movie. Adrian and Polly don't have parents. Yeah. Rocky's parents. Where are his parents? Even little Marie apparently doesn't have parents.
And neither does Rocky Jr. He doesn't have parents.
Yeah, nobody has parents. And I sort of like that it's a mystery. It's and then in the same way that I didn't like that there was an alternate ending made for Rocky Balboa. Like, no. I don't know. That's just
alternate endings aren't canon. That's the only when it comes to deleted scenes. That's my philosophy. Is that, or you could just we're talking about alternate universes.
Yeah.
That's the alternate universe ending, right? But I think that scene with steps, though. I hear you. I kind of got giddy about it because we got some answers. I hate not knowing. I'm not one of those people like, oh, whatever it is in your mind. No, there's a story here. I want to know what the story is. I want to know what his actual family tree history is.
Well, in the same way that I wouldn't necessarily want to see, like, we know enough about Rocky. Like, we come to our own conclusions based on what we're shown in the first movie about his life leading up to the first Rocky. So in the same way, I wouldn't want to see them go back and create some version of Rocky pre-Rocky.
Yeah.
1. Like, that's because it's like, no, just leave it alone. I don't know. Again,
Yeah,
I just said it now.
I generally agree with Katie there. Like it's best that you not know. Although the fact that his dad went to jail like doesn't really tell you much, I don't think. Like it's not like he did life there. I mean, maybe he did. We have no idea, but he could have just done like a few years and then split.
Mm.
Or the arches could mean the McDonald's manager executive training program.
And even Rocky thinks it's embarrassing, so he's just on his father.
Like,
Yeah.
all
right.
But yeah.
So who knows what he's thinking here? But yeah, I think we're led to believe it's kind of not to say obvious, but yeah, he's probably thinking, okay, now what? But he looks happy. He looks content, but he looks also. So the scene now is the classic. What do you call that? It's not a sky train, but what do you call that?
Well, it's the subway. It's just about like most cities, most big cities. The subway's only underground in like the city core.
Okay.
But like once you get to the outskirts, it's above ground.
Okay.
It's called the. I think it's SEPTA. I've ridden it before in Philadelphia. SEPTA, something like that. It's like something Pennsylvania Transit.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. Well, we're led. Yeah. Okay. So he still has the paper in his hand. So Rocky is now walking towards Mickey's gym, where we just found out earlier in the film he hasn't been there in quite some time, but now he's there today because he. So we think now, or we're led to believe now, during those contemplative thoughts, he was thinking a little bit, you know what, maybe I should just do something fun. Maybe I should do something other than my restaurant and the graveyard. Maybe I should go check out the gym. Maybe the kid's there. Where's the black kid? I don't see the black kid. Oh, is he squeezing his little handball? Do you see that?
Is that a handball? I thought he just had like arthritis or something.
It's the black ball that is, but it wasn't in. Was it in Rocky Balboa? I don't
remember it being in Rocky Balboa.
That's a good point. Good call. Good question. For our listeners, let us know. I don't recall it either, but interesting that it was. I guarantee you, this was Sly bringing it on set, and it wasn't written in the script.
Yeah, probably.
Guarantee it. Great shot there of Rocky, and over his shoulder looking at the Mighty Mix. Just the flood of emotions he's feeling, and we're feeling as an audience as Rocky thinks about his time with Mick and in that gym. How many memorable moments they had in that gym. So Rocky walks in. The first thing he notices, they've changed the place. He's like, whoa, it looks nice and new in here.
Also, I don't think we ever learn about, I'm curious as a viewer. So we know that this was willed to Robert, but we don't, like now all of a sudden we see this guy, Pete, it's like his somehow, but there's no mention or explanation of some sort of transfer of ownership, or is Pete just managing it and the Balboas still own it? Like, I don't know. Is that?
I think it's your second one. I think that's how Robert could afford living in Vancouver.
No, you need more than that.
You guys are crushing my dreams of moving to Vancouver. Is it super expensive?
The average house price is like over $1 million.
Oh, that's about like Boulder here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Victoria's not far behind. Ugh, man, it's terrible. Boulder's expensive.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that.
But I mean, I live in Denver, but Boulder's like, a half hour, 45 minutes from here. Yeah.
I would say that he probably sold it because I think if you owned it, you would be more aware of like the expenses required to renovate and bring this place up to where it is. Like he seems to be totally unaware of the fact that it looks different, where if you're an owner, you would have had to fund all that.
Yeah, and technically it's not his, it was Robert's, and Robert didn't seem to want anything to do with it. But that makes me sad that it's not in the Balboa family, if that's the case. You know?
Was it Roberts as like a plot device because otherwise it would have been included in like the foreclosure of all Rocky's stuff?
Yeah, well, that's where we learn about it, isn't it? With Rocky 5, where the lawyer says everything was
Yeah,
Yeah.
except
like
for
I
the
guess it
gym.
necessarily had to be that way because they couldn't go after his son.
Mixed
I'm guessing like his son could have sold it to pay for college or something. Because
Hmm.
I doubt Rocky paid for his college, and I'm guessing he would have had to have a degree to do the job he did.
Yeah.
Well, here we go. If you want to go to Wiki, Rocky Wiki, uh, it still says that it's owned in the Balboa name.
Yeah, but
Okay.
they're as much of an authority as we are.
How
Right?
dare
Like
you? Well, we're probably more of an authority.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, if you want to no, but what the Rocky is pretty good. What the Rocky Wiki is just it takes all the information the movie and the books provide. That's all. So it looks like, according to the movies and the novelizations of the movies, there's no indication that it left ownership of the Balboas. But it doesn't mean it didn't. It was never on film if it did happen. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so Rocky's walking in, looking around, and of course now people are noticing him, of course, because the Pope has walked into the Vatican.
Hey, Rocky. Hey, how you doing? Good see you. Yeah.
Hey, Rock, long time no see, brother.
Still here, good.
Yeah,
Good to see
yeah.
you. Hey,
Funny, Stallion's back.
hey, it's like a party here,
Yeah,
everyone.
right. Welcome back, man.
Yeah, thank you very much.
How you
Yes.
feel?
Good.
What are you making a comeback?
No.
Hey, Chip.
Hey, Pete, what's up?
Didn't know you were coming by.
So this car snake oil salesman guy, boy, you just want to punch him in the face. So he comes over, sees Rocky walk in. This is why I still kind of think I think this guy, if I'm going to believe that the Balboas own the place, but this guy runs it. It's almost like he is the owner operator, but he's not the owner. He's the operator, okay? And because
Well, he does everything.
But sure, but he sees kind of Rocky walk in. He's like, ugh. You get this weirdness, and then this one guy went up to say hi to Rocky and goes, "Oh, you making a comeback?" Kind of like a little joke, and this what's this guy's name? Pete.
Pete.
Yeah, he tells the guy to bug off, off, so I can talk to Rocky privately.
He is a bit of a slick Rick, this Pete.
He looks like a Pete.
Yeah.
Plus, it's like the goatee. Like the goatee gives an impression. Like if you Google like what people think if you grow a goatee, like if you in business, if you have a goatee, people will be a little mistrustful of you. And so
Oh, I
just
didn't know
kinda-
that. Okay.
yeah.
Well, we see here there's a banner back here. Mighty Mix champion, lightweight heavyweight champion is Leo Spirino. So he is considered the light heavyweight champion, owned by Mighty Mix.
Yeah, because he was in the U.S. Olympic team. It will say in just a minute here, and so maybe he won some kind of Golden Glove thing.
Yeah, they showed that scorecard thing already. Previous episode that I think the one
Oh,
you
okay.
missed.
Yeah.
I didn't either. I was just in the neighborhood. You've done nice here. Place is looking good. New paint, everything. Very
I
good.
do what I can.
Very nice.
Remember my son Leo?
Of course I do.
Bigger since you last seen him,
Yeah,
huh?
very big.
Rocky.
So he does mention the place looks good, and Peter's like, "Oh, I did what I could." So I wonder if he's saying with the finances available that you've given me or whatever. But he does mention I did what I could with spruce up the place, and then before you get to the Kyle, I just want to say the second thing, and then he mentions his kid real quick. You remember my kid Leo? He's he's a champion now, and Rocky says, "Yeah, I remember him," but he barely gives him a glance. Like Rocky does not care about this kid.
Well, he also says, and it highlights how long it's been since Rocky's been to this gym or even talked to this guy. He says he's a lot bigger now. So that implies that he maybe last saw him as like a child or a young teenager or something like that.
I'm
So
thinking it's
been
5
like
to
a
7
decade.
years. At least
Yeah.
7, maybe 10 years. I'm thinking it's the 7-year area. I don't know why 7 years makes sense to me, but it's been like 5 to 7 years since he stepped foot in there.
So I'm going to say a theory now. Rocky's son or Rocky or whatever still owns it, but it's what you call a triple net lease. So he just collects the lease payment, and these guys, they take care of all improvements. They set the everything else. So,
Sure, that makes sense.
So maybe he's complaining about Rocky's rent. It's too much or something like that.
Also, I don't know if we knew when we met Leo Spirino earlier that he was Pete's son. I don't know if we knew that or not.
I think it was
Did we?
very briefly mentioned or something. I
Oh,
feel like
okay.
we didn't talk about it, and I feel like it was either during when I was editing or something. When I was hearing the dialogue again during my edit, where it kind of came up. The son talk came up, like you're doing a good job, son. And I thought it was like, oh, is that just a term
Oh,
of
yeah.
endearment? But I think that is his kid, isn't that Kyle? That is his
It
kid.
is. It is his
Yeah, it
kid.
is.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's yet another father-son duo in this movie in particular.
Yeah. Whoever wrote this film has daddy issues. Oh, Stallone. No, I'm just kidding.
No, he didn't write the film.
Well, the whole movie,
This
the
one,
franchise,
yeah.
the whole franchise has daddy issues. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Although I think it's pretty common, there are daddy issues, but I think it's pretty common in boxing for fathers to train or manage or whatever their sons. Like it must be a family business type sport.
Yeah, Joe Frazier's son Marvis. I think I had like 18 professional fights. He has the distinction though of being knocked out by Mike Tyson in like 19 seconds.
Oof.
Something
That's
like
longer
that.
that's longer than I'd last, but yeah.
Yeah. It's like you don't fault the guy for it because it was like prime
19
Tyson.
seconds. Yikes.
Like it was like Tyson and like before he became champ, but was almost champ. So like he was in his prime, and Marvis Frazier's style was just like his dad, where he like would just kind of rush at you and come at you with intensity, which is the exact wrong style for Mike Tyson. And I guess he said he's like I don't actually remember the fight at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Mike like knocked him right out.
Oh boy.
So yeah, there's some father son stuff going on for sure.
I wonder what the daughter father movie would be. Oh, Showgirls. Okay, never mind.
Yeah. I never saw that. But
I've never seen it either.
Really?
Yes.
Oh. Jesse Spano. Were you a fan of Jesse Spano?
I was after Showgirls. I mean, I've never seen it. Kyle, have you seen it?
No, I haven't.
She's Elizabeth Berkley. She's pretty. All right, here we go.
He's 17-0. And things are really opening up for us. Leo! Rocky, option's still open if you want to get involved. A little training, a little motivation.
Let me think about it.
Sure, Rocky, sure.
How you doing, kid?
It's honor to meet you, champ.
Yeah, nice to meet you too. 17-0, very good. Yeah.
Okay, so we're already kind of getting the conflict that's coming up here because Leo's dad, Peter, he's like, hey, the offer's still on the table. So they've obviously had discussions since he's become champion or when he was training to become champion. So we'd say in at least the last half decade, there's been conversations, hey, my son's going into training to be a professional fighter. Rocky, this is your gym. Mighty Mick trained you. It would only make sense if you want to get into the game. We'd love to have you. Why wouldn't they? He's like, oh, yeah, we'll see. And just as he turns him down again, of course, in walks in Adonis. Awkward. No comments?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for what's going to happen.
Okay.
Me too. Yeah.
Okay.
Because honestly, my personality is so different from Adonis's. Like if I were him and I walked in there, I'd kind of like keep a low profile and just kind of wait till the conversation ended.
Well,
And then Adonis is just like, yo, Unc.
Sorry. Yeah, I was gonna say it's not that your personality is different. It's just you understand social cues and. Oh man. Yeah. I also just explained the scenes for our people that aren't watching, but yeah. Okay, we'll continue.
We're supposed to fight on the Ricky Collins.
Hey,
card. It got canceled.
Oh,
You talking to you?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
you made it.
Yeah, I just walked by. Here I am.
Okay, awkward. He calls him Unc. Hey, Unc. And just like a little half trot over. And rightfully so, he's excited because he literally, and he's not wrong, but Rocky's there because if Adonis never stepped into Philadelphia, Rocky wouldn't be in the gym right now. Let's just be honest. He's there because he got triggered by the idea of seeing the gym again, at least seeing the fighters, and maybe seeing Adonis. And I love how Peter goes, you know this guy? Or is he talking to you? And Rocky's like, I think so.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, I think so.
I just want to comment. Is it just me, or does his son kind of look like a Neanderthal?
Well,
this
it's
shot,
frozen on a specific. He does. He kind of does. There is that. Yeah, he sort of does. But also, he's about to. It's frozen on he's about to give a very evil look to his dad. Like they're about to look at each other like, what is this?
Yeah, these guys are bitter, jealous, like father, like son. These two guys feel like this guy is already the champion, so I don't know why they like the light heavyweight champion. So their animosity towards Rocky having, I gotta be careful. I want to tell you guys a story, but I had I'll just say it. I had a neighbor who was jealous. I'll cut this off for the audio edit. This is just for Patreon, because just in case this person hears it. So I had this a neighbor who was jealous that my wife had other friends. Like
Wait, what?
Exactly. I can't word it any other way than that. Just the fact that it's like Becky would go on a walk with one of the neighbors on the street, and then
Okay.
yeah, and then she'd be like, "Well, why aren't I going on that walk?" So, well, we just have a life outside of it. Basically, be like being jealous that someone just has a conversation with somebody else. It's unhealthy. It's unhealthy is all I'm saying. So these people right here are like you can already see in their faces, they're already saying to themselves like, how dare Rocky have other people in his life? We've approached him at some point. How dare he have other opportunities to be with other people? And to be fair to Rocky, yeah, there is more of a connection with Apollo's son than there is with these two numbnuts.
But they don't know that yet.
Yeah, I don't really blame them that much.
Okay.
Like, this guy's friends with Rocky.
They don't
And
seem no. He thinks he's friends with. I hear what you're saying,
must
but
have
Rocky,
some sort of relationship. If he's leasing the gym from him, like if he picked him to do it, like they gotta have something.
I think it's
Like, they're not enemies.
purely business. I think it's purely business. I don't think Rocky's barely looked at this guy in the eyes.
That's true. I mean, and originally, even when he comes back and he was like, "Hey, are you sure you don't want to change your mind? Be in the corner, blah blah." You see him kind of scheming, like you want Rocky because he's Rocky, because that's going to be a big draw. You'll make more money. But then Kyle does have a point. Like
He always has
this
a
guy, this Pete and his son are like, yeah. I mean, we've asked you a couple of times, and there's actually a bit of a, however you want to describe the relationship, there is some sort of a connection between them. Like, who's this new kid? Like, you say no to us, but who's this guy? Seemingly from their perspective,
Yeah, out of nowhere.
in off the streets.
Well, their animosity makes sense. We see it on screen very easily. That I guess I'm projecting myself. I guess, and like everyone, you can have a life outside of somebody else's life. I guess is what I'm saying. So, but yeah. They see business opportunities slipping.
Mm-hmm.
How you know Hollywood?
We met at the restaurant.
That's it.
Okay, so that's even making it worse.
Oh my gosh. Do you guys, what did Rocky, he's a terrible liar. That's it. What did that remind you of? I just want to see if we are on the, like,
Yeah,
what else did that remind you of?
It reminds me of like kind of a relationship thing. Like if you're like dating someone, or you might be starting to date someone, but then you're not really coming out with it yet. And you're like, yeah, we're just friends.
But from a prior movie.
I know, it's killing me.
Oh.
It's killing me, and you're gonna say it, and I'm gonna be mad at myself for not knowing. Go ahead and say it.
Well, it reminded me of, I didn't even catch it until, so I watched this scene before we started recording.
She comes prepared, Kyle.
Well, I'm new. I have to be. But I didn't notice it at first, but I was like, God, his lying is so bad. What is that from? What is that from? I think for me, it reminded me of in Rocky 2, when Mickey, again, they're at the top of a staircase in the scene, where Mickey is doing the eye test with his finger, and Rocky's he does it on the one side, and he's like, "There's the little guy," and then Mickey's like, "Great, great, great. Let's try the other eye." And
the other lamp. Let's try the other lamp, shall we?
Yeah.
I love that.
and Rocky has to lie because he doesn't see it, and so he says, "Yep, there it is. I see it." And Mickey, and the way he says it is just like he said in this scene, like,
nice.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah.
I think. Do you guys think?
Well, yeah, if it's not that scene, that's a classic Rocky-ism. The way he moves there. Stallone's acting in this film, rightfully so, got the Golden Globe and Oscar nomination. It's an incredible acting job. It really revitalized not only his career, but showing everyone, like, yeah, this character is that amazing of a character that at the 8th film we could still be excited by it. Sorry, 7th film we could still be excited by it. But all right, so he's just. But what's made this worse though is now they seem very friendly and like, yeah, we just met like 2 days ago.
Yeah, he ate at my restaurant. Now I want to take him on and train him.
Which goes to show you, this is where truth is always better to tell. This is where Adonis, well, they know the truth, but they should have just told the truth. Now, these guys would have done what they were, but because they're going to do it, we find out later, they're going to do what they're going to do with that name anyways. But had they just attacked it right now, so you know what? But I know they can't because Adonis doesn't want the name out. I know. So, anyways.
Also, I think Rocky could have been more direct with this guy, but just not being interested. Because, you know, when that guy's like, oh, the opportunity's still open to train my son, he's like, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
If he doesn't want to, just say you don't want to.
He hates confrontation.
Just say, like, just be like, I'm not interested in doing fighting stuff right now. Which it would be hard to explain now if you had to train Adonis.
Or you could just say, I am actually interested in working with somebody, but I'm starting at the bottom. You know, your son's already successful.
Yeah, that would have been a good lie.
Okay, Rock. Okay. You need anything, you let me know.
Okay. Good luck, kid. Seriously.
Thanks.
17-0. Kid's got a future.
So that Peter actor, I don't know his name, but he does a great job. I love the way he talks, his enunciation of his words, and he's got a very like that mafia, Sopranos type dialect, and the way he talks. Okay, Rock, if you need anything, just let me know. Oof.
In the way he was surprised when Adonis came up, I thought that was really realistic. Like, I could see someone having that exact reaction.
And Rock is uncomfortable. 17-0. That kid's got a good future.
Now it's gonna be like awkward in the gym when he's training now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it would be for me if I'm Rocky. I'd be like, sorry. Like, I hate upsetting people, so.
Which is why Rocky doesn't ever.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, he hates confrontation, but there is a. I'm sure you can Google this, and I've actually have read articles on this. The power to say no. Like the ability to say no to something. There's actually you can Google it. There's actually really great examples, and I've used them. I can't cite them off the top of my head right now, but how to say no when someone asks you, do you want to go out tonight, or do you want to come to my party, or do you want to help me move, or whatever it might be, or do you want to join my a multi-level marketing scheme, wherever it might be. There's ways you can say no without being hurtful, and it's actually a very helpful guide. And but yeah, there's actually you as an individual. I'm not telling you guys know, you're both accomplished individuals. I'm just saying, for me, I've had a hard time saying no through my life, and it's gotten me in trouble. Ironically, I take the suffering by not saying no. You know what? No, that's something I don't want to do. And had Rocky in that moment said, you know what? Just to avoid any confusion in the future, I'm telling you right now, I don't want to train your son. I am looking for other opportunities, but thank you for thinking of me.
It is something that typically comes with age. So they say, I mean, I wouldn't know anything about that, obviously, but, they say that.
They say that. Well, you're only 25, so I wouldn't.
Right. But Rocky, he's 70, so he should feel more confident just stating what he wants.
He should. As I get older, because I am turning 45 next month or in October, and I have found and I hate confrontation, I do, but even as I've gotten older, especially these last 5 years, my mid 40s, I'm starting to care less and less. Not what I hate the term what people think, but you know what I mean by that.
Yeah.
I'm not in control of your feelings. Like how you respond to how I live or how I think. I can't babysit that anymore. As I get older, I realize it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what people, even what they think of me. And so I'm learning, but I feel like it's still late in life. So if you can learn this, folks, anyone listening under 40, the sooner you get to, you know what? It doesn't matter what somebody thinks, as long as you're not being hurtful. But you know what I'm saying? Right. Yeah, just live your life and forget what people think and say no when you want to say no. Yeah. Kyle's a smart man. He's wise beyond his years.
Well, I was just gonna say, all right, Mickey, because that's like those are wise Mickey words.
Yeah, but even he was. I want to take what I've got and give it to you, Kyle and Katie. Yeah.
Well, Mickey would be like, I don't want to train your kid. Get out.
Hey Ryan, enough with this Buddha stuff. Oh man, I don't want to curse in this biblical base. You know? I love that when he's worried about cursing in that little hospital chapel. I don't know why I find that adorable. Oh man. Okay, so we're gonna pause it again, and this will probably be our last one. Okay, so we'll just stop here. I'll reinvite you guys. All right, getting better at it.
We we just keep going off on tangents.
Okay, I don't think Kyle heard that. Do you want to repeat that there, Katie?
I said sorry. We just keep going off on tangents.
Now, Katie, yes or no? Did you say you listened to the show before you came on?
Yes, but I feel like now that with 3 people, I don't know. Again, God, I gotta quit it now. With the I don't know, but like. I always found it really. I liked it, but I don't know if everyone like. Well, I'm sure people do. It's the show.
You know what? That's right. Actually, I just listened to a podcast recently, because I listened to other podcasts. It's interesting hearing other podcasters talk about their shows, the things they like about it, their own criticisms of themselves. And one advice from a podcaster that I quite admire, he said that. Just don't worry about what anyone, as an artist, and we're not artists, but as a creator, just create. And
you can't please everyone.
No.
So
we certainly don't anybody. But no, in fact, when the show first started, Ruben and I, well, you listened to those episodes, we got emails and criticism from people saying we go off on tangents or whatever. But it's not like our tangents are. We're talking Rocky, but all of a sudden we're talking about the Marvel Cinematic Universe for half an hour.
Yeah.
That's a tangent that, yes, I could see listeners saying, go back. But we keep it within the Rocky talk, I think, very well.
True.
But people also are interested a little bit of just how we think about life, and to a degree, they do listen to the personalities in the show. But that being said, no, I don't think if people just wanted a commentary on the movie, they can just watch the movie and think about it for themselves. Like at the end of the day, they can just literally watch the movie and say, "These are my thoughts on the film," and then they get to hear everything they want to hear. Like you will agree with every point you've made. Congratulations. But the whole idea of the whole idea of a podcast, to a degree, I think, is the discussion, and it brings up other things that we talk about. So don't feel bad. Trust me, if anyone's ruining the show, it's me. I say that seriously. When I told this to Katie, Kyle, when you were offline before you joined, that when I do edit, I find I edit the most me. Like those cutting out those chunks of talk. It's actually my. Yeah.
It's only because everybody is their own worst critic.
I guess so.
I think that's probably why.
That's maybe why a star of a film should never be the editor. Either they'll cut out too much, or they'll be afraid to cut out anything. There's 2 types of editors. Yeah.
You just answered your question about why does Stallone remove so much from his movies. Maybe that's why.
He's too critical of his own performances. Yeah. Yeah, with Stallone and I, we have a lot in common.
Yeah.
Basically the same person.
We're basically the same person. Same wealth, stature, physical fitness. Yeah.
You've both been in low-budget 70s porno movies.
Well, mine was mid-80s, but yeah, it's true. Wait, I would have been 12.
Yeah, you would.
All right. Okay. Mid-90s. All right. No, I would have been 18. That would have been perfect. 1994. Beautiful age. Oh, go back to when I was 18 again. If I knew now when what I knew. Kyle, we've talked about this. Imagine knowing what you know now. Go back when you're 18.
And just in generalities, right? Like life lessons. Not like what stocks are going to go up. Type of stuff.
No, not even that kind of stuff. Just like how to be.
Well, the saying, youth is wasted on the young, right?
Yeah.
It's such a true saying. This world sucks.
True. It really does.
It doesn't make sense.
Button Let's Benjamin button it up.
Yeah, if it looked like
Yeah.
Brad Pitt, that'd be fine. But yeah. Okay, so yeah, this is our last little scene here.
Tough. Can I talk to you a minute?
Oh shit! I just noticed something.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that thing right behind Adonis, like the old cover of Mighty Mix there, or is that a picture of it?
It looks like it.
Because remember they changed the outside thing that was falling apart.
Yeah, they changed
Did
the
they
sign.
take it and put it on the wall now? Is that it on the wall?
Oh yeah, good catch. Good catch. That is
That is
the
a good
old
catch.
Mighty Mix design there.
That's cool. He kept it.
Is that Mickey with the stocking cap on?
No, it's just a. It might be, or it
doesn't
might.
it look like it?
It might be his.
His
I can't say it.
signature.
Uh,
Oh,
Is
yarmulke.
Yamaka?
no, I was gonna say the Jew haircut. You can't say the.
Oh.
Ugh. Sometimes the PC world sucks. Okay, here we go. Oh. Mute. Yeah, good catch, Kyle. I totally missed
Yeah.
that.
That's a great
That's the
catch.
first time I saw that. Like of all the time, I haven't watched this movie that often, but yeah.
So Rocky wants to go talk to Adonis, of course. Can I go? Do you mind leaving so I could talk to my wife privately, or secretly?
Yeah.
Was it secretly?
Yes, secretly. Yes,
Yeah.
secretly.
I love that.
No, I don't even know what I'm doing here because I got other plans in my life and this wasn't part of it.
Now, okay.
What other plans? What other plans
Yeah,
does he have for
I
his
was thinking.
life?
I have a grave to visit
Every
like,
day.
a lot, so I might have to leave your training for like several hours. Really, doing really important parts.
I gotta feed my turtles, Cuff and Link. See, I got them at that pet store. See, oh,
I want to start a hashtag that's like free Cuff and Link from their
yeah, no kidding. Give them a bigger
50-year-old
bowl.
prison or whatever.
Oh man.
Your father was special. Tell you the truth, I don't know if he's special. Only you're gonna know that when the time is right. And it ain't gonna come overnight. You're gonna take a beat, you're gonna take this, you're gonna get knocked down, you're gonna get up, and you're gonna see if you got the right thing. But you gotta work hard. I swear to God, if you're not gonna do it, I'm out.
Whoa, so Adonis must be very excited right at this moment because Rocky just doesn't really. He leads into a very weird. He kind of like says, boxing is hard. You're gonna get hit. You're gonna get knocked down. Your father was great and special. I don't know if you're special. Only you can know that. You got to work hard. So if you don't work hard, I'm out. He's like, whoa, you've accepted my offer.
I didn't know you were in. Yeah.
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 It always takes like a little bit of like, I think he was convinced by that whole Pete and Leo conversation. He felt like, I think it even kind of irked him, it gave off a very bad vibe. And Rocky always needs like something like that to convince him, it seems, to do something.
I wonder if he's protecting him from Pete too.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
he
don't
is.
know. Why is he there though?
He says he doesn't know.
Would he be there if he was going to say no, or if he didn't decide?
Imagine if you
Oh,
walked.
so you're saying he did make the decision at the gravesite like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't think he would have showed up otherwise. I don't know if he would have
True.
showed up to say no. Maybe.
Yeah.
I was going to say maybe I'm wrong, but I'm not. I'm right.
I think you're right. Yeah.
See, this is why I didn't want to tell you guys what your tics are or your quirks are when I edit, because now that's what you keep thinking every time you say it. Oh, I said it again. I will not reveal any more. There's more. Kyle, you
Now
have
I'm
them.
going to be like trying to sleep. I'm like, what are my tics?
Well, I tell you what, for our avid Patreon listeners, they will know because they'll yeah. So if you could tell me what Kyle always does, I'm just joking.
Like every punch I ever thrown has been on my own. Nobody showed me how to do this. I'm ready.
Boy, Adonis, you're such a weird sell on yourself, because here Rocky has taken your offer to do this. Great. And Rocky says you got to work hard, and if you don't work hard, I'm out. But then Adonis's response is, "Hey, it should have been, hey, that's fantastic. what an honor, what a thrill. This is amazing. You're actually doing that which I requested this. So instead of saying thank you for accepting my request, let's work together. I promise I'll work my hardest. I promise. He says, every punch I've ever thrown was my own. Okay, are you...
I follow him.
Okay.
It has been up till now.
Well, I think what he's saying is, because like if you're not working hard, it means you're unmotivated, essentially, right?
Okay.
Like you're lazy, you're unmotivated. So
he's independent.
He's saying, look, I've been working at this on my own without anyone prodding me or making me do this. Like I'm self-motivated. Like I've come all the way here. He hasn't said this part, but he's like, I've come all the way here.
He hasn't said anything. The hell out of you. You're projecting. You're 100% projecting because.
No. If he says I've done everything on my own, he's saying I'm self-motivated.
Well, he is, but Rocky's point, I think, is like, all right, well, you've done an all right, you've gotten yourself here, but you have no idea what it takes to like do this for real. I think is what he's saying.
Yeah, well, maybe. I think you're both right. I agree, Kyle. Though that's what's being. How should I say this? I guess I'm not. I hear you, and I believe you're right. Like, it makes sense, because we know that Adonis is not a complete just a-hole. I get it, and I'm not trying to do this to him. I guess I'm just listening to the words he's saying. Like, Rocky has literally said, hey, I'm going to train you. Like, that's fantastic. And Adonis' response is, again, well, here's an example. My 13-year-old son today, he's been camping in the backyard with a tent and sleeping bag all summer. But today, before
cute.
Yeah,
That's
he's been
cute.
so. But today was cleanup day. It's like, okay, summer's pretty much over. We're school routine's kicking in this Monday. It's time to tear down your tent. So I said I'll help you, and so I was doing pretty much all the work. And the moment I asked him to help, his response was like not positive. Okay. I'm like, hey. I'm actually giving you all my knowledge, all my help, and you asked for help, and I'm giving it to you. Your response is not thankful or great. Like, it's, I guess that's maybe why this was literally like 5 hours ago. So I guess there's a part of me sees him as a kid to a dad figure saying, hey, you asked me for help. I'm giving it to you. And your response is like, hey, man, I set the tent up on my own. That's what I hear here. Like, yeah, okay, but I'm helping you tear it down. Like, be a little bit gracious. Maybe it's coming up because we paused it early. Maybe it's coming up.
He should have thanked Rocky and showed gratitude and appreciation
to a degree.
It's okay to do. Yeah, he's trying to sell it to Rocky. He's trying to sell to Rocky and reassure him that he said at the end, I'm ready.
Okay, I guess I would have prefaced this saying that's thank you, champ. And I didn't get here by sitting on my hands. I got here by every punch was my own. I'm going to give it all with you as well. I don't know.
He doesn't show Rocky a ton of respect, really. Like, he's like, even in the restaurant, he's like, phone still works, you don't call. Like, there's a bit of animosity almost, but he also admiration. Like, it's a weird mix.
Well, he's very arrogant, as was Apollo. I mean, like, it's just such a contrast of personality between Balboa's and Creed's.
Yeah.
Everybody's been a jerk to. Think about it. Like, Apollo was arrogant, but he kind of came around after he was humbled. But then Clubber Lang was arrogant. Drago was arrogant. Tommy Gunn was arrogant. Even Tarver was arrogant. Poor Rocky can't have like a buddy boxer. Like, I guess the closest friend was Apollo, but even Apollo was like kind of.
Oh yeah, because Apollo like in 4 when Rocky was like, hey, are you sure about this? Like, we don't know anything about this guy. And Apollo was like, are you kidding? I could eat nails and I'm in the best shape of my life. Like, and Rocky was like trying to like bring him down to reality a little bit, and he was not having it at all.
Well, in athletics, it seems though the people who really are arrogant and believe in themselves tend to do better. Like, there are some humble athletes, but they seem to be in the minority. Like, it seems like that Rocky. Arrogance is kind of a prerequisite to.
That's fair. No, that's fair. You're absolutely right, and that would probably explain my lack of sporting ability. Because I'm not competitive. I'm not like I don't have that competitive streak. I admit I just don't compete. I don't need to compete, and I face it at work. There's a lot. I'm in the military, as you guys know, and there's a lot of very competitive personalities in the military. People who have been through more, done more, been deployed more, or whatever it might be, and they kind of lord that over you. And my response is always like, yeah, you have. Like, you win. I don't, like, your life has had what it's had. Mine hasn't. Like, once I kind of diffused,
totally, yeah.
like, I diffused it with them
Yeah.
by saying, when they kind of go on that kind of chest thumping, they realize with me they're not going to get a fight. They're not going to get a verbal type of competition, because I always just defer and say, oh yeah, it sounds like you've had a very busy time, or it sounds like you've had a very rough time. It sounds like you've been through a lot. And once they realize, oh, he's not competing, no, that's your life. I don't know what you want me to tell you. Like, you've lived that life. I didn't live that life.
You got to say something like, "That's it."
No.
No, I'm just kidding.
With some of these army guys, that's just their thing. And that's fine. That is their life. But I don't compete. My life doesn't have anything to do with anyone else's life. I don't know.
I'm with you, Ryan, but like all those personality tests that you can take that, tell you like which field you should go into, or
Right.
given this personality, you might excel in this field or whatever. It's always like people with this like really, I don't know if I want to say arrogant, but extreme self-confidence and competitiveness are athletes and CEOs and salespeople.
Sure.
And so it's like a certain personality. So when that was a good point that you brought up about most athletes do have that super ego, so to speak.
Kyle, you tend towards that, I think. You're very confident in that way.
Oh, I no, not especially. I don't know. I can be and I can't be, but I'm not competitive. Like, especially like my wife is like super competitive, and it bothers her that I just don't care. Like, if we play a board game or something and I lose, I'm just like, no, whatever. But she'll be like, I have to give her like 20 minutes to like cool down if she loses at a game.
What does she do for a living? Do you mind my asking?
Well, she's mostly at home with the kids right now, but like she does like her own business. Like, she does like she helps women with like breastfeeding and stuff like that. And
Okay, so an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Well, I can see that then.
Yeah. Like, she has the confidence that way, where like she likes to teach people things a lot, and I think you have to have a lot of confidence to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know that she did that. Wow, I'm learning things too.
Come on, let's do this.
Oh, that's the end of the scene.
Step into my office.
Okay, of course we'll stop it there, because the next scene sequence is kind of an early montage-ish type thing. It's 40 minutes into the film, and we have Rocky says, "Step into my office," and we're gonna get to see some fun little chasing. Yeah, it's a good tease. We got the chicken chasing.
Katie, did you see my recreation of the chicken chasing?
No, where was this posted?
It was on Facebook.
I think Ryan posted it on Twitter and Facebook, but yeah, I found someone with chickens. I chased one for the podcast.
Well, I hope you were very nice to the chicken. I have a friend who has chickens too. Like, you can have them in town in Denver. So a lot of people have them. But
I think Kyle broke the neck right after he caught it. I think that's
No, I missed it. I need to find this.
I'll find it. I'll find it
okay.
on our video section. I'll tag you in it.
Okay. So how did it go?
Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it.
Okay.
She's
All
gonna
right,
watch
I'll
it.
watch it. Okay.
I added a little spice to it at the end, a fun little thing, but I won't spoil it for you.
Yeah, Ryan did some editing to the video.
I can't leave well enough alone. I gotta tamper with everything.
My next thing is, because my wife's family are farmers, and one of them does have a cattle. I'm gonna try and see if I can punch some meat or something like that. That's my next project for the podcast.
That's awesome.
I don't know how awesome that is, but
oh yeah, she's a vegetarian, by the way.
Vegan, so even worse.
Oh, you're a vegan.
Even worse. I like that.
I will. On that note,
punch it though.
No. On that note, though, well, actually, people ask me, they're like, "How do you like Rocky?" Because, like, people like to ask me that question because he does that. But on that note, this made me think of, I was talking to the podcast, Ryan, when you did your crossover episode with Craig and Doug on Escape Plan with Arnold. When you were talking about the scene where, I don't know, I think Stallone, they purposely try to get in a fight so that he can get put in lockup, and Arnold's line is something like, you hit or you punch like a vegetarian.
Oh yeah.
And the reason I'm bringing it up is because I didn't know if you guys knew or not, because you didn't say it in the episode. Arnold is vegan.
Oh.
So that was a little
He's
nod.
vegan?
Arnold is vegan. Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah. So that, I think that was sort of a joke to his veganism as well.
Yeah. I think Arnold's got a great sense of humor, so I could see him poking fun at himself for that's funny.
So I guess Katie's not doing the egg drinking challenge then.
No, and I don't think anyone should. I mean, how does someone not get sick by that?
I did it. There's also a video of me drinking eggs for the podcast as well.
I'll have to tag you in that as well.
I will not be partaking in that.
I had a joke. I won't say the joke.
I did it while drunk. I don't know.
That probably helps.
Yeah, you were a little bit. Yeah, that's fine. I remember that. All right. Well, this has actually been fun. How do you guys think we did for our male female video?
Well, we're probably like going way slower through Creed than you had probably.
I don't know. I think this would have been almost a natural stop. I think if it was just me and Kyle, we might have done the training sequence, but we definitely I try to stop at the natural areas to stop, like not a mid scene. So if it wasn't the scene we stopped it on just now, it would probably be after the little training montage. But it's fine. We're no timeline but our own.
Well, how do you feel about it, Ryan? Having is three a crowd? You know what I mean?
When it comes to male, female, sometimes it can get a little bit.
Jesus Christ, Ryan!
This isn't the Three's Company you had in mind.
Kyle, forever the white knight. Always defending the virtue of the show. Yes, Kyle, we know. I'm the. Anyways, I'm the bad person. I know.
Well, I love pervy jokes. I just don't. I'm scared because I don't know what you're like, Katie. When it comes to that kind of stuff.
I have pushed jokes. I've tested her already.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I no worries at all on that front, Kyle. In fact, I have to remind myself to try not to be a potty mouth on the podcast, to try and keep it PG-13. So.
Oh, Ryan edits that out. Because there's some where I really start swearing a lot.
Yeah, so
for the
Patreon
on the podcast.
No, you haven't. I don't think you have. Yeah, so Katie, for the Patreon live feed video, that's kind of what people are paying for. So you could be a little bit more. Okay. Yeah, don't edit yourself for that. I'll worry about the edit for the iTunes release. Don't worry.
Yeah. Well, we've had all male threesomes before on the podcast. Like when I first started as a guest host.
Yeah, with Ruben. Yeah.
It was you and Ruben and I. So.
Yeah. No, you've been great, Katie. No, you have a great, and that was actually one of the first questions I actually asked Katie, and I hope you don't mind me saying this, was actually just. Mm-hmm. What did I say? Oh yeah, this is how I worded the question. Take it for what it means, listener. I just said, "Have you been to any recent protests?" That's all I said. And what I meant,
that's how you said it.
And what I meant by that, not anywhere where you stand, but just that if you had been, whatever side, I didn't ask what side. I didn't ask what side that protest is on. I'm just saying, meaning just like we're just here to have fun. We're just here to have fun and good. And I just find maybe sometimes the people that maybe go to these and whatever side they might be on might not be the most fun people to podcast. That's take it for what that is. But it meant something to me that you're like, and the fact that you laughed at the question is like, okay, good. All right. She gets what I'm saying. Okay.
And I would consider myself somewhat thick-skinned, Kyle, so I can.
Okay.
I can. I think I can take a joke.
Are your sisters married?
Yes.
Okay, but we talked about you need no man though. You need no man.
No, I'm like Bianca, I guess. No.
That's right. Are you deaf?
No. Yeah, actually. Oh my God, that's funny that you say that. I legit think I don't hear very well.
Wow.
Yeah. What makes you think you don't hear very well?
I have to ask people to repeat themselves a lot.
I said that in a really low tone to see if you'd hear it, but I guess you did. So
I did.
How's your singing voice? What was that song that Bianca does again? Dip dip. What's that? Is it?
Oh, I forget. Yeah, I don't know. I forget it already.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you've been great, Katie Kyle. You've been great as always. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Again, if you want to send us an email, gtdwithrr@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter. Oh, we forgot to do who's following Kyle on Twitter.
You know what? I don't even have my Twitter because I got a new phone, and then I logged into Twitter, and it was like one of my other Twitter things, and I haven't bothered trying to find.
Okay, well, let me just
my
quickly
new one.
again. This will be edited for time on our audio, but this will take 2 seconds on Google here. Because now, Katie, you from our last recording, you joined Twitter. This is important. You joined Twitter, and you already catch up to Kyle.
Oh
I think
shit!
already.
I'll have to follow you.
I followed you, Kyle.
I haven't been on Twitter.
I'm just
since
giving
I
you
got
a
my
hard time.
phone.
No, I am giving you a hard time. Because like Facebook's my primary, like that's where like my friends are and where I post things. So I haven't, I think it'll take a minute for me to get the hang of Twitter and.
Yeah, you've done good. You've done good. So good. Well, so let's do. Okay, so we got 2 segments now. Who's following Katie and who's following Kyle? First, we'll do who's following Katie. She's got 21 followers now after a week. Not too bad. A lot of the listeners. I think the majority of them.
It's all except for like maybe one. One is an actual friend.
Is that Patrick Pasinski?
Yes.
Okay.
That's an actual friend.
Buffalo
Have you gotten
Paz.
French women who have accosted you yet?
No, but I did see somebody. That must be a thing. Because there was another listener who posted something about it. I hope she's a real person and not just like a fake, trying to sell Russian dates or something like that. I don't know.
All right, so I want to give a shout out to your followers. We got Trevor, Craig, of course, from the Slycast, Com Quinn, Doug from Rocky Minute, the Pretender movie is following you. Chester Copperpot, he's been following the show since the beginning. Shout out to Chester. Simcha Seeker, GD has Ozzy Greg. He's also Ozzy Greg, by the way, is not the other Greg or Greg the First, by the way. He's Ozzy Greg. He's been following the show since the beginning, so we know he's a listener. Liam Dempsey from the Spotlight podcast, and they're following you as well. Andy V, big supporter of the show. He gives me all the pirated movies for my crossover episodes. Hector Canales is following you. The Wrestler Patrick's following you. That's Sox Pat 82. Arcade Adriano's following you. Of course, he runs the UK Attacker podcast. Jason Pug 1988. Lawrence Drew, Jacko 25, and that's it. Okay. So we'll give those guys a shout out. So of course, Katie, next week we'll see who else is following you. And then, Kyle, I think you got a new follower. Sorry.
You're trying to log in now.
Okay, you got 35 followers now. I think Katie's going to pass you one day. So you got Katie following you now.
Mm-hmm.
Paul Schreiber, our new Patreon. He's following, so double shout out to Paul. He's following Kyle on Twitter. Now, Paul, you got to follow Katie on Twitter. How dare you? Dreba. Who's Dreba? This person, I love it. This person's a fake account or what? So Dreba is following. Sorry, he's from Gambia, West Africa, and he's looking for good and honest friends. And know more about each other's country and nature. Kyle, have you reached back to Jariba?
I have not been. I'm still can't. I'm like an old man with technology. Like, I can't
We're
get on
twins.
my right Twitter.
We're twins. I might as well be Rocky.
So again,
I'm like on the wrong Twitter, like something like an old Twitter I set up, and now like I had to create a new one when Ryan told me to do it.
How did this guy find you, Driba? Anyways, he's following you, Kyle. He's from Gambia, West Africa. And he wants an honest friend, so don't lie to him. And he wants to know more about Canada and nature.
We don't have a lot of
he
nature
might need a
here,
loan here pretty
Yeah.
quick.
Okay. Yeah, and there you go. That's the only new followers is Katie, of course, Paul Schreiber, and Driba from West Africa. I want to know more about Driba. Driba, if you're listening to the show.
Driba and I are going to become good pals. After I go to France to marry Marie.
Yeah. And remember when I ragged on Seiko there, Kyle?
What's that?
Seiko? Remember when I ragged on Seiko?
No, I
following
don't.
you on Twitter and he didn't follow me. Well, he got on.
Yeah.
Yeah, he messaged me and he says, "I didn't know you were on Twitter, man." And just so you know, Seagull's still not following me. But well, he's following me, but he's not following the show.
He needs to be more direct with you. I tell you, he doesn't want to follow you on Twitter.
But yeah. All right. You guys are awesome. Truly, thanks everyone. Thank you for listening. And yeah, that's it. Boy, I guess we got to take turns. Who takes us out? Katie did last time. Kyle, do you want to take us out?
Turn during.
Nice. All right, I'm just gonna stop recording and then we'll just chit chat for a second.